Hey everyone, it's Kong, and here's the lucky 13th issue of Langrisser Lookout. If the Lookout were a box of donuts, then this is the one the baker would toss in for free. And actually, in retrospect, it kind of makes sense that the lucky 13th issue would be the one that's a day late, because I ended up spending some time in the hospital on the weekend. Nothing serious, but it did mean I didn't have any time to record over the weekend. On top of that, new baby Kong puppy is puppy hogging my attention, so let's make this a short issue and just hit the highlights. Of course, as you all know, this is a bi-weekly series where I go over some noteworthy game news and then follow it up with an update on my own account progress. So that said, let's start with the news. On the PvE front, I think the main bit of news is that the Rosalia and Nomi update brought some new story chapters, and you're even able to get a couple of Wheels of Fate on the map, so in my opinion, those are great little rewards. If you have a really tightly scheduled shard farming plan, then these can help let some of the pressure off. On the PvP side, Apex Arena Season 5 started this weekend, and I hope you all had a chance to get into the action and at least get your qualifying matches done. Remember, as I've said in the past, even beginners and people who don't really care about PvP should definitely at least get ranked ASAP. Even if you just go in there and lose your 5 matches and then never play again, getting ranked will help you to start bringing in free weekly rewards. Also in PvP news, the Summit Der Langrisser Season 4 is also open for registration up until the end of this week. So this is going to be a longer and chiller season, so join up if you feel like getting some practice in or getting to know some other players in the community. The links to the sign-up page and the tournament Discord server are in their usual spot underneath the like button. Okay, so that's going to be it for the abbreviated news, so let's move on to an equally short Kong update for September 29th. So let's start with a quick summoning update. The first banner in this cycle was the Rainforest, Zerida, and Gizaroff banner, and as I mentioned in my summoning plans video last week, I did dive back into the Gizaroff banner to try to get some Zerida shards, and I ended up racking up 90 towards Pity before I backed off to reevaluate. Well, Jason Adams left this comment on my Rosalia and Nomi Should You Summon episode, and I found it pretty convincing. I dropped that last summon into the Giz banner and got Gizaroff again, and then I went ham on the banner all over again, and I did eventually get the Zerida that I was looking for. Fortunately, I was able to stick to my guns a little bit better on the Rachel, Tiaras, and Lana banner and the Rosalia and Nomi banners. I skipped both of those. As much as we all like new and shiny things, I'm pretty committed to skipping the Rosalia and Nomi banner simply because I'd rather summon for Rosie in January and risk getting Elwyn rather than Nomi. And that's not because I don't like Nomi, it's more because she's a guaranteed Destiny summon for me in February, so why waste that opportunity? Anyway, all this nonsense brought my lifetime SSR rate down to 1.78%. Okay, and with that, I actually have a decent Awakening update, if I can find these characters efficiently. I unlocked the 3C skill for Ren, mainly because I like her as a unit. I'm not sure how useful she'll end up being in the long term. I did the first step of the Awakening for Joshua to get his 6 skill slots. I also unlocked the 3C skill for Licorice, and I unlocked the 3C skill for my new Gizaroff, who's not built up yet. Neither of those characters are built up at all yet, in terms of their class unlocks and stuff. So moving on to my gates, the winner of the 7th Gates of Folly community poll was Wheeler again. Now that was from the last cycle, so he's well on his way to 6 star now. I'm sure I passed him. There he is. Well on his way. And speaking of poor Wheeler, since this issue is a day late, we already know the results of the 8th Gates of Folly community poll as well, and this time the winner was Zerida. So that means I'm going to be able to get her to 6 star during this cycle, and I'll use the remaining days on Wheeler when she's finished, since he was in 2nd place. The other progress I managed was to get Ren to 4 star. She wasn't 4 star yet when the last cycle started. As far as looking forward to progress for next time around, Joshua's very close to 5-star, and I'm going to be pausing him there, I think. Not because I don't want to finish him, but because I have a lot of other characters that I want to start getting up into shape, like Licorice and Gizroff maybe, for example. Now, as for a gear update, this one's actually going to be fairly quick and fairly simple as well. Because I got my 6th last rites, which I gave to Listel, and that's it. So RNGesus certainly seems to be happy to help me keep this issue short. Not much else in terms of new gear of note. Now for grunts. As you know, I've been trying to focus on one key node from each tree, based on what I think I'm going to need for my new Apex box this season, and possibly looking forward to next season. So after last episode's big progress in every area, I've just been kind of chipping away again. For Lancers, I got my Stone Colossus up to level 10, so now I'm working on their core stats to make them actually worth using, but at least I know they're there for me if I need them. The other piece of real measurable progress is in the Holy and Demon tree. I got my Skeleton Knights up to level 10 as well, so I'm going to focus on Hellfire Archers in here again, going forward. And the last thing to talk about is my group in Bonds. I got Ren up to near max, and I also got, which I kind of like to do for characters that I freshly summon that I know I'm actually going to use, I got Gizroff up to almost max as well. So we'll see how they fare in Apex at not ideal star levels. I'm not going to have time to train up everyone I want to use in Apex before this season is done anyway, so I'm pretty much committing to these characters. And then if I have to pivot to a different playstyle next season, then that's when I'll try to make any necessary changes. And that's it for the Kong update. So thanks for tuning in, and thanks for your feedback and advice and encouraging comments as always. Stay tuned for the next episode of Should You Summon later this week, and then I'll catch you in the next Langrisser Lookout.